Hello there, everyone. Welcome to Brew Jackets. It's a fun Blue Jackets themed podcast. My name is Kevin, and joining me tonight is my co-host Hefty Duck. And like we always do, we always invite people to come on the show. Whether if they do or don't, different story. They may or may not come because sometimes we get fun surprises from people that show up. But anyways, we got a lot of stuff going on in the Blue Jackets world to talk about. The Blue Jackets have played 3 games since our last show, and they've won all 3, and it was really cool. And we're going to talk about all of it. So many outstanding, awesome moments in those 3 games. We're going to talk about it. The Blue Jackets trade Yegor Chinakhov. He's off to Pittsburgh. The Blue Jackets get 2 draft picks. We're going to talk about him. And what does that mean for the Blue Jackets? Also, Kirill Marchenko playing good. Mason Marchment playing good. Going to talk about that. Got some fun goals to share. Some fun mascot logos. And so much more. Let's get going, everyone. Welcome to the show.
Welcome in. Yeah, I'm so glad. We talked about it a little bit last week about trying to sneak in a show before the games this week, but I'm really glad that we did just wait because otherwise we would have talked about one game. How fun would that have been? Although it was a win, which is awesome. I always like the shows after we do a couple wins, especially a couple wins in a row. Like, holy shit, it's so much better than just sitting here and ripping on people because, it's our people. I doubt that they hear too much of our shit talking, but I would feel bad, saying it to someone's face sometime. Sometimes it's just the way she goes. But yeah, I got a lot to be happy about this last week with everything that went on. And yeah, we got some other news like outside of just the wins this week as well too. We got we didn't talk about it too terribly much last week, if much at all, but we got Mason Marchment joined the Blue Jackets, and then recently Yegor Chinakhov was traded for 2 draft picks and Danton Heinen. We'll talk about that here a little bit later yet too. But yeah, wheeling and dealing. Don Waddell's not asleep. I seen a pretty funny quote from him that said that he talked more to Kyle Dubas about the Yegor Chinakhov trade than either of them probably talked to their wives. I thought that was pretty funny out there from Mark Scheig. But yeah, controversies on the ice. When does a penalty become assault? When, how should you stick up for your teammates? Should you in some circumstances? We got a lot to talk about with some fun circumstances that came up this last week. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe wherever you're watching from. If you're watching from Twitter, go check out our YouTube. We're trying to grow that a little bit more. If you're over on YouTube, feel free to stay there. Just don't forget to like. No, check us out on Twitter too if you want. We're technically on Facebook. We only have control of one of the sites that's on there, so we kind of just gave up Facebook for now. It's whatever. Find us on all social media if you'd like. The more followers we get places, the more likely we'll post more shit. I know it's probably backwards, but big shout out to our audio listeners as always. If you want to listen to us on audio as well, I upload the audio every night after the show. You can check us out on Spotify, Apple, Google, YouTube, anywhere that there's podcasts. You can find our audio version there as well.
Yes.
But
one last thing before we get going here, don't forget, check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. Look at that. Hefty Duck has got the cool Union Blue Soldiers button that I passed out at the Union Blue Soldiers March this past October for the Blue Jackets home opener. So yeah, check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. It's a fun Blue Jackets themed fan group that I run. A lot of fun stuff. So check out Union Blue Soldiers.
It's a fun time. This is a good time.
But first, to start things off, we got a little fun news to share. This past Sunday was an outstanding Ohio Sports Day. Why? I'll tell you why. Because The Blue Jackets, the Bengals, and the Browns all won on the same day. Truly the best of the best, an outstanding day in Ohio sports where you get 3 big wins from the Blue Jackets, the Bengals, and the Browns.
And the Cavs won yesterday too.
That's right. So shout out to the Bengals, the Browns, and the Blue Jackets for getting big wins this past Sunday.
Hell yeah. Love to see it. Especially since the Browns win included the Steelers losing. Fantastic. Pretty good to see. We also seen the like I said, the Cavs winning yesterday. So next week, unfortunately, there's gonna have to be one of the Ohio teams losing and one of them winning. When the Browns and the Bengals face for the is that next week?
Yep.
Yeah, for the season finale for both teams. So that'll be interesting. You know, I'm a casual Browns viewer. I'm not really like a hardcore fan or anything, but I also like to see when any Ohio team's doing well, including the Bengals. I understand the Ohio rivalry, but I also don't understand the animosity sometimes. Like it's just
it's all right. It's okay.
Like it's not like they're Pittsburgh fans.
No, God, no.
You know?
Yeah. And I Houday, let's go Bengals. But even if we put that off to the side, Hefty Duck is right. I've the same stories you hear about Pittsburgh fans being awful at Blue Jacket games. It's the same thing where you hear stories about Pittsburgh fans being awful at Bengals and Browns games. Because unfortunately, that's just how it is. You know, they're not necessarily the greatest there, but it is what it is. So it just makes it even better when you beat them and you send those goofball fans home with a loss, you know? Which
it is always the best. I don't even think like Detroit Red Wings fans aren't really all that bad at all ever.
No.
And that's like and Columbus specifically has a bigger rivalry with the whole state of Michigan that they don't give a damn for. Than any Pennsylvania teams.
Yeah.
You know. So I think it's funny. I do think it's funny how you can be in someone else's barn and be respectful too. Like I've sat near like by Red Wings fans every single time that they play them. There's tons of them in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna cheer for their team. That's fine, but they don't. They're just. Yeah. The one Penguins game I was at, I talked about this on the show the one time. This was one of the weirdest things that ever happened to me. I was like talking with my buddy who like doesn't go to as much hockey games as I was, so I was like talking about the action a bit, explaining some like niche hockey shit to him for whatever. And I don't know if I was annoying the lady in front of me or whatever, but like she started to like pretend to take a selfie, but in her camera because I could see her phone. She was not in frame. I was in frame, and she was like taking pictures of me and like videoing me and shit. And like she was definitely a Penguins fan. So I was like, because if it was a Blue Jackets fan, like we're not famous, but there's like a dozen people out there that know us at games. Like I was like maybe she thinks she knows me, but I don't know. It was really weird behavior. I asked her to stop, and she completely ignored me. I completely stonewalled me. So, that was really weird behavior. Penguins fans do better than that one weird lady. Her husband and her son looked so embarrassed too, because I was like, I even said something too. I was like, sir, you realize your wife's being, I've been drinking a little bit, so I wasn't completely mean. I wasn't swearing about it. I might have been swearing a little bit, but not about her. And so I was like, can you get your wife to stop taking photos of me? And everyone just stared forward, just didn't want to, because I was kind of behind him. Like, listen, if you're gonna do weird shit, back it up. At least like say hey, like buy me a drink or something. I don't know. Like, you think I'm cute? Like, let's go. I don't know. It was weird. It was very weird. Anyway, that's my Penguins fan story. Y'all suck.
Yeah.
There's one Penguins fan I do like, and it's a personal friend of mine, so that's about it.
Well, yeah.
The rest of you can get bent.
Yeah, such as the ones that get into a fight at the game and after the Blue Jackets Game 4 playoff win in 2017, or other shenanigans. But that's either here or nor there. But anyways, On to the next thing, which is this. We'll put this up on the screen. So, the Blue Jackets have traded Yegor Chinakhov to the Pittsburgh Penguins, who we just got done trash talking their fans who, when they come to Columbus, they're not great people. How about that for a transition? But anyways, besides the point. So Yegor Chinakhov, off to Pittsburgh you go, 2 draft picks and a player. And it really just comes down to this. Hefty Duck and I, we've talked about this many times on the show before, but it's this. Yegor Chinakhov, when he's good, he is good. And we've seen it time and time again. He's had some moments where he's been good, really good for the Blue Jackets. What stands out is he's really good at shooting the puck. He's a guy that very few people on the Blue Jackets can shoot the puck like he can. He scores goals where he shoots. It's like, man, how did he do that? What a goal. What a shot. How did he do that? Very few people can do that. And that's a big reason why he is where he is today, is that he's really good at shooting the puck. First line, second line talent. But why is he in the position that he is right now where he's getting traded? Well, it's because of this. He's not consistent, because there's times when he's there and he's awesome. And then there's times where he's just not there. It's just not there. And that's not good enough. Like, you can't keep doing that. You can't have a game or two where you're not there, and then you have like a game or two where you're there and you play good and you score like a big goal. There's a reason why the Blue Jackets win a game, because you're a big reason, a part of it, and you make a big contribution. You can't keep doing this thing where it's like, I'm going to have a bad game or two and not be there, and then I'm going to have a good game or two and I'm going to be there. You just can't do that. And because of that, Yegor Chinakhov was playing in a spot that realistically he shouldn't have been playing in, but that's what he got, because when you're inconsistent, you're going to play lower in the lineup. So he was playing third line, fourth line minutes when he has the type of talent that is more of like first line, second line. But if you don't consistently play to the first line, second line type of play consistently, you're not going to get those minutes, and you're just going to sit your butt down on the third and fourth line and just play. And that's just how it was. Because for the most part, generally speaking, anytime he got more ice time to play higher up in the lineup, generally speaking, he didn't really do anything with it. Sure, he had some moments where he looked good there, but for the most part, he didn't really do anything. And one last thing I'll say is this. Last season, he started out on the first line with Dmitry Voronkov and Sean Monahan, and he played really good. He had 7 goals in his first 14 games. Played really good. But then he got hurt, and that was the end of that, because after that, he didn't really play much. Even when he came back from his injury, he didn't really play much. There just really wasn't a lot there. There just wasn't. I am of the belief that if he doesn't get hurt, he probably continues the way he's playing. And instead of talking about, oh man, the Blue Jackets have a good line in Kromarchenko, Sean Monahan, and Dmitry Voronkov, I think, in my opinion, we're talking about, hey, the Blue Jackets have a good line in Yegor Chinakhov, Sean Monahan, Dmitry Voronkov. And it was. But he got hurt, and that's the end of that. And now, one of the big stories of that season and going into this season was the Blue Jackets have a good line in Dmitry Voronkov, Sean Monahan, and Kromarchenko. And ultimately, the Blue Jackets just got to a point to where they felt like that they had to trade him, because you just can't keep doing this thing where it's like you're bad, you're not there for one game, but then you're good for another game. You just can't be inconsistent like that. You need to do better, and that he wasn't going to do that. So in the end, a good move for the Blue Jackets, because you get 2 draft picks and you get a guy that can help you now.
Yeah, I mean, we all know. I mean, if you guys watch this show, you're probably a little bit niche fans. So many of you guys probably know. You know, yeah. Christopher Boys, thanks for joining us. Hey, this brings up a good point. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. If you do it on Twitter, you got to do it like on the actual streams, not one of the reposts or something like that. I think. But on YouTube, feel free to leave a comment. We will talk about almost every comment, as long as you're not a piece of shit and you're not saying some wild stuff. We'll talk about it. You can be a dick, just don't be a total piece of shit. No racism and stuff like that. But you know. You can be mean.
So
No,
perfect.
not a problem, Chris. We're literally. You brought up a great point for me to be able to talk about the comments here. So Christopher Boys Vert says, "Have you guys talked about the trade yet?" And then he said, as I'm talking, he goes, "My bad, I just got here. Not a problem. Welcome in."
Hey,
man.
you know what? But it's perfect time.
Not at all. Not at all rude.
No. You ain't rude, Chris. You ain't rude. But it's perfect time on your part because you're like, hey, are you talking about the trade? Well, what do you know? We're doing it right now. So here you go. We're doing it right now. We're
I'm just
talking
about to give my take on it. So, sorry. There were two bigger trades the Blue Jackets made earlier this week. This last 2 weeks. We'll cover the Chinakhov one too, but then the Mason Marchment trade is going to tie into this really well. And to watch everything that Don Waddell did with both those trades is very, in my opinion, very good work. I don't think that there's a loss here in either trade. So Chinakhov is 2 point. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit of echo here. So Chinakhov, he's like 6'1", like just about 200 pounds or so. Left shoot. He can play left or right wing. So he was traded. He also had a $2.1 million cap hit. So keep this in mind: 2.1 mil cap hit. He was traded for one player, a single player, going from the Blue Jackets to the Pittsburgh Penguins for a 2027 third round pick and a 2026 second round pick, and forward Danton Heinen. He's 30 years old, 6'1", 187, shoots left, $2.25 million cap hit. I'm going to talk about Heinen a little bit real quick. So he's primarily an NHLer. In fact, he hadn't seen AHL ice until for like the last 7 seasons until this year. This year he had been down on the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins for a few games. Sorry, I keep looking over here. I'm trying to find my stats if I had them up still. Well, I don't. Not a big deal. So, personally, I think he's going to see his way back to the NHL ice here for the Blue Jackets. With all the injuries that have been going on, they have the addition of Marchment without losing any other players. I think it's just good backup for injuries, in my opinion. His stats this year, I will bring that up real quick. I like his name, Danton Heinen. So for this season, he's got 13 games played, 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points. Yegor Chinakhov, if I can find him, 29 games played, 3 goals, 3 assists for 6 points. He's a -6. So the production is just simply not there with Chinakhov. It could be, as Kevin said, it could be. It has been at times, brief, shimmering moments of time. This is simply, Chinakhov is an extraordinarily talented player and has the potential to be a superstar. But potential, if not realized, is worth nothing. He's a young guy. He's got plenty of time in the NHL. Maybe a change of scenery can bring it out of him. Look at Mason Marchment. Change of scenery, boom, now he's scoring goals. Anyway, so it could feasibly be good for Chinakhov. Chinakhov could go somewhere else and he could be twice as successful. And you know what? Good for him. I still don't think that there's any losing this trade for Don Waddell or the Blue Jackets. Simply put, he's not been producing. That's it. That's it. Now, I think that this trade was made a lot more comfortable and easier by the addition of Mason Marshman.
Yeah.
Well, before I get to that, let me talk just a tiny bit more about Danton Heinen again. No, I talked about everything. 2.25. He's primarily an NHLer. Oh, so last season Heinen was traded from Vancouver to Pittsburgh, and then this season he split his games pretty much equally between the AHL and NHL. His AHL numbers are like are fantastic. He's not an AHL caliber player really, not with that salary, and also when he goes down there, he's just dominant. So I think the Penguins might just be fighting the same battle that the Blue Jackets are, and just having too many players for that, like the third, fourth lines. Just is what it is. So this trade was made easier by the Mason Marchment trade, simply because you already had Marchment there. So for Marchment, they lost a second round 2027 pick. Mind you, they just picked up a third round 2027 pick. So in the 2027 pick, they dropped one of their picks down one round. Not a big deal. So for Marchment, they also traded a fourth round 2026 pick and went up 2 spots in 2026. So like this season's end of the year draft. Second round 2026. So they moved up 2, went down 1. So that's a positive gain of 1 spot, even if it's 2 different years. And they lost Chinakhov and gained Mason Marchment and Danton Heinen. So this is why I think this was a very smart move by Don Waddell, because he gave up 2 picks to get 2 picks that were very similar. Yeah, obviously a fourth rounder is not going to be a second rounder, and second is not going to be a third, but like pretty good on you. I don't think that there's any losing here for the Blue Jackets. We can talk about Marchment a bit more in a bit. In fact, we're going to have to talk about Marchment here more in a bit because of the shit that happened. But overall, I'm not embarrassed by this for the Blue Jackets, and I think that this was solid. I'm happy with this trade. I'm hoping that Chinakhov can find the home that he so desperately seems to want. You know, he requested a trade back in the offseason. He's there's been no more other chatter from him though. No other like, man, I'm pissed that this happened. I'm pissed that happened. I know he was unhappy about his playing time at first, but like produce and you'll get more. Look, that's how it goes. That's why Olivier last year was getting like 16, 18 minutes a game. He was producing. When you're not, you don't. We'll talk about Olivia here in a bit yet too. But do you want to talk about Marchment now, or do you want to wait till we get to that game?
I think it's better if we just get to the games here.
Wait till we get to the game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything else you want to cover before we get to the games?
Or
anything else you want to say about this?
No. So you know what though, I will. I do want to talk about this just for a quick second here. I'll put this up on the screen here. So, of course, there's 2 outdoor games are going to be down in Florida, and I wonder what that's going to be like. Because it's
not even outdoors. Sorry. I didn't mean to get to that first.
Well, both of them will be, but anyways. Yeah, okay. We can argue about it, have the semantics, and you can do the air quotes thing, but outdoors, fine, whatever. And the first one is down in Miami, home of the Miami Marlins, where the Florida Panthers are playing the New York Rangers. And the NHL released their first, little picture of, what it's going to look like for that outdoor hockey game. And, it looks kind of cool, but baseball stadiums in general don't do very well with how it's configured, because most of the seats are terrible because the baseball stadiums are not made for hockey. But it's still pretty cool to see, and I like that they're going all over the place in different outdoor games. Obviously, the Blue Jackets had one this past season, and that was cool. And looking forward to see how a outdoor hockey game in Florida does.
Yeah, I'm just poking fun here with the like air quotes and the outdoor thing, because it's in a the one picture I saw earlier, they had the roof completely closed. Is the roof open in this one?
Yeah, they have to keep it closed because it's Florida and it's hot.
Yeah. But just makes me giggle a little bit. Like, it's cool. It's cool. I like it.
Of course, and then Jason, he was, we'll put this up on the screen here, said, man, we are blessed with the views and sightlines from the shoe of the stadium series game. You're gonna need a telescope to see anything from this game. Yeah, but hey, but you know what though? People who, if you go to an outdoor game in general, you're just going there for the fun of it, for the experience, for once in a lifetime events that you could say, hey, I was at that outdoor game and it was cool and I had a fun time. You know, I mean, that's how I feel about the Blue Jackets outdoor game. It was one of the most awesome events I ever went to. Really cool. I got to see Blue Jackets history in person. And I got to say, hey, I was at that game and it was awesome. I saw Blue Jackets history and I saw the Blue Jackets win, which is cool. And I have no doubts that, people down in Florida, your Panthers fan down there, if you see that game, that you'll probably have a similar feeling, especially if the Panthers find a way to win that game. So outdoor hockey, wondering how that's going to go in Florida, and the Blue Jackets had one, and that is cool. So I just like that hockey keeps doing these outdoor hockey games.
Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, I gotta always gotta poke a little bit of fun with hockey being in Florida because it's the Sunshine State, not the ice hockey state, or snow state, or ice or anything. But pretty cool.
Oh well. But anyways, so let's see here. Heartsea says boo Penguins.
Hell yeah, fuck the Penguins.
Yes, I agree. Boo Penguins. Concern, Chris, you might lose that trade because of Heinen. I don't think he has it.
Has it like he used to? Yeah.
I don't think he has liked it how he used to. Well, like, we just need a guy that can play at this point to take Chinakhov's spot. That's what it is. And yeah. I've read some stuff on him that he was part of the Bruins team that made the Stanley Cup final in 2019, and some of the analytics say that he's really good defensively. He can give you good third line, fourth line minutes. So, hey, that's kind of what the Blue Jackets need right now. They need someone that can help defensively and give them some third line, fourth line minutes.
And this is what I meant too about them with having Marchment there. Like, losing that trade is a lot harder because of Marchment. I mean, Marchment comes in and in 4 games already has the half of the production that Chinakhov had this year. So Heinen may or may not matter with this deal that much. He could maybe be a decent trade piece coming up too. He's an experienced depth wing. So, that's kind of been the MO for Waddell, is experienced guys.
Yes.
Also, I mean, Marchment comes in. He doesn't just replace Chinakhov. I mean, he's a bigger dude than him. He's got more experience than him.
He's good.
So that's why I say, I consider Marchment as almost part of that trade because of the picks swapping.
Yeah. So, all right. So now, on to the next part of the show. We are going to be talking about the last 3 games that the Blue Jackets have played. All 3 of them are really good. We're going to start off with the Blue Jackets played a game against the Kings in Los Angeles. The Blue Jackets beat the Kings 3-1. First period, real good period. Definitely one of the better first periods the Blue Jackets have played all season long. They get a 2-goal performance from Mason Marchment, 2 big goals from him, and the Blue Jackets played really good in that first period to take the 2-0 lead after 1 period. Now, that second period, honestly, is a pretty good period for the Blue Jackets. Until, the Kings towards the end of that period, the Kings really started to play better, and eventually they did get a goal there. So honestly, minus the goal there, and it was a pretty good period for the Blue Jackets there in the second period. Third period, you know what? Kings had some chances, but then they didn't score. And then the Blue Jackets kind of really took over that period as that period went along. Eventually, they get a big goal on the power play from Kirill Marchenko, and the Blue Jackets win. Good game. Overall, that's how you do it. Good game, Blue Jackets. That was really a not 9 out of 10 performance from me. And the thing is you didn't have Zach Werenski in that game. Now, to be fair, Dean Evison has said that Zach Werenski absolutely could have played that game. And knowing Zach Werenski, I'm not doubting that. He absolutely could have played that game and he would have been fine. Ultimately, the Blue Jackets made the decision to not play him and just give him some rest, and that's understandable. That's okay too. And so you know that going into that game, you were at a disadvantage because you didn't have Zach Werenski. And that's a big hole, not just defensively, but also from an offensive standpoint, but also power play, penalty killing, blocking shots. He eats minutes. He's a guy that can play 20, 30 minutes a night, no problem, which does make it easier on everyone else. So when you don't have him, it makes it harder. So, if things didn't go very good that game, it would have sucked. But you know what? I would have looked the other way to a certain degree. Yeah, it sucks, but you didn't have Zach Werenski. But they didn't do that. The Blue Jackets did not do that. It's almost as if not having Zach Werenski made them play better in a sense because they realized that they don't have him there to help them out, or they just locked it down defensively more like they had to. Like, oh crap, we don't have Zach Werenski. We really need to bring our A game here. We really need to play really good. And that's exactly what they did. Is other than giving up that goal, they played really good defensively, didn't give the Kings much to shoot at, and just locked it down defensively. Sticks and lanes, blocking shots, just awesome. Big saves from Jet Greaves. Other than giving up the goal, you did everything that you could have wanted. All 3 goals were scored on the power play, so your power play was working. And that was really a big difference in the game there, too, because the Kings had chances to score on the power play. They couldn't get it done. The Blue Jackets had 3 chances to score on the power play, and they got it done. So, good game defensively, one of the best games all season long defensively, and overall, that was just an awesome game. One of the best games you played all season long. It was toughness, grit, attitude, finding a way to grind it out and get the job done. So, good game, Blue Jackets, 9 out of 10.
Yeah, these last 3 games were absolutely phenomenal with how the Blue Jackets they showed up, they clocked in, they got to work, they did their job, won, clocked out. There was very now I am unfortunately not going to give them a 9 out of 10, but for I'm going to explain my reasoning for it. I will give them, they won. It's a great win. Give them an 8 out of 10. And the only reason I knock it down that point from Kevin's is due to both the amount of penalties they gave up and the amount of power play goals that they did score. Now, I'm not going to sit here and bitch about a win, but something that I noticed is the Blue Jackets were 3 for 7. All 3 of their goals were on the power play. So fantastic for them, great for them. Love to see it because the special team this year has had struggles, and for them to score on the power play, absolutely phenomenal. Now you had 7 chances to do that, and you took advantage of 3. So, if you could get 1 or 2 more, that'd be great. If you could score 5 on 5 too, that would have been awesome. Just to that way no one could say like, oh, if the Kings had taken no penalties, they wouldn't have lost. I mean, possibly. That's what happens when you suck. Just kidding. It happens. It's hockey. Marchment on Hattie Watch in the first period, and then the other March out there, Marchenko, finished it up with the goal in the third period then too. Yeah, Corey Perry is an idiot. Just throwing that out there. Like, you're kind of dumb, dude. Like, I get, like, yo, you're tough. You're, like, whatever. You're kind of stupid. Just, I think you are. Sorry. Taking dumbass penalties for that shit. So, unsportsmanlike conduct is what I'm talking about. You gave yourself a double minor instead of just a minor. Like, just, aren't you kind of old, Corey Perry? Grow up. Shit. Not to mention you got a slashing penalty in the third period then. Duh. And then Kings with the 2 minutes for too many men on the ice. Like, damn, bro. You're a professional team. How is that happening in the world's greatest, most talented, highest performing hockey league? I mean, it happened in the Blue Jackets the other night, so I can't like rip on them too much. But overall, pretty good game. I would love to see the Blue Jackets capitalize on at least one more power play, although they held the penalty kill to 0 of 5. So that was huge. That was a huge moment because in other games this year, that would have meant them losing, giving up 5 penalties.
Yeah.
So love to see it. Love to see y'all keeping your heads cool. The Blue Jackets will next meet the Kings in January on the 26th. So here in about 4 or 5 weeks, we'll be talking again about the Kings, and it will be a home game for the Blue Jackets this time. But great to see them win on the road. Absolutely fantastic to see them win on the road. Because that was the end of that road trip from out west. And they came back with a win to make it. That was their second win in a row, technically. Yeah. So, all right. That's all I got for that game. You got anything else?
Well, the one thing I'll say is that you don't penalties are bad. You don't want to do them, but sometimes they're more acceptable than the others. And there were two ones that the Kings did that were just really bad strategically. The one that really stands out is it's kind of late in the game, and the Kings, they pull their goalie late in the game to try and get another goal, and then they get a penalty, and then essentially that killed it right there. They didn't have anything else after that, because even after they killed the Blue Jackets didn't score on that power play, but even after they killed it, there was basically very little time for them to come back. It was just like, and then Corey Perry kind of dumb penalty earlier on in the game that also screwed them. So strategically, that was just, not very smart from the Kings' part, but that's besides the point. But anyways, on to the next game. The Blue Jackets get a big win against the New York Islanders by beating them 4-2. Blue Jackets good first period other than giving up a goal there. That was a 9 out of 10 first period for the Blue Jackets. You give up a goal there, but other than that, you did everything else was good because you were really good shifts in the offensive zone, putting the pressure on. Anytime you had the puck, shoot it. You put shots on goal. And if you didn't score, you shot it again. Eventually, they did get a goal from Kirill Marchenko. Awesome goal. He's, he kind of got it at an awkward angle because he's kind of by the boards, and it's kind of like at an awkward angle when it gets the puck. Then it kind of turns, and then he goes in on kind of like a little breakaway, and then shoots and scores. Awesome goal. Oh, and then, they give up the goal. But other than that, that was a pretty good first period there. Second period, it was kind of blah. All that momentum that you had in the first period, minus giving up the goal, for the most part, went away. And then you do give up a goal there. It's just, like that. That was a preventable goal. But, you turn the puck over, then it becomes a 2-on-1, and it's in the back of your net. Like, you just can't do that. So, but, so that was that. Second period was kind of not good, kind of Third period didn't start out very good, but as the period went along, the Blue Jackets were building so much positive momentum, and they finally got it. They got a big goal from Ivan Provorov, and it's just a shot from up high by the point and just shoot it, and he scored. And then shortly after that, Kromarchenko again, where he shot it and he scored. Where he gets the puck in the offensive zone, and honestly, it's on his backhand, and it's kind of a hard angle for him, and he's got a guy like right on him. And what most people would have done is, you know what, the shot's not there. They would have probably skated around the net and wait for someone else to get the puck to. Kromarchenko didn't do that. He just, you know what, even if it's not it's kind of a hard shot for me. It's not a good angle. Even if I got a guy like right on me, I'm just going to shoot it. Backhand, just quickly get it on net. And he does that, and he scores. And the Blue, with this a little over a minute, the Blue Jackets get 2 quick goals. Now they're up 3-2. And eventually they get another one. Empty net goal. The Islanders pull the goalie. It's Cole Sillinger, 4-2. And honestly, that went from a 6 out of 10 game to an 8 out of 10 game for me, because you win and the effort that you showed in that third period. Because the way that game was going is that the Islanders are one of those teams that they play really, really good defense. They do not give you much to shoot at. And if they give you something to shoot at, you better shoot and put that thing away in the net. Because if you don't, you're not going to get that chance again. And to me, the way it was going, other than that one goal that they got with Kromarchenko, it just felt like that it was going to be one of those games that the Blue Jackets would play a pretty good game, and then they have so many chances to put it away, and then they don't, and then eventually they lose, because you can only do so much before the other team finds a way to score. And we've talked about that on the show. There's been games like that where the Blue Jackets play a good game, they have chances to put it away, and maybe then, other than like a goal or two, they don't do it, and then eventually they lose. And it felt like it was going to be that type of game where the Blue Jackets have all these chances to put it away, and outside of that one, they don't do it, and eventually they would have lost. But it didn't happen. The Blue Jackets found a way to get it done. 3 goals in the third period, and it was awesome. And 2 last things I'll say, and then we'll get Hefty Duck in here. If you remember the game against the Islanders in New York this past November, the Blue Jackets were playing a good game. They were up 2-1, and then late in the game, the Islanders scored 2 quick goals to make it 3-2, and the Blue Jackets lose that game. And that was a game that you look back at like, damn, the Blue Jackets should have had that game. You play a good game there, and you just kind of, unfortunately, lose it like that. Not good. But what happened? The Blue Jackets flipped the script, because you know what? They're playing a pretty good game there, but then they were losing. And the Islanders, they were playing a pretty good game, and they were winning. But what happened? This time, instead of the Blue Jackets losing that game, it was the Islanders. They were playing a pretty good game, and then they blew it in the third. They pooped their pants and gave it away in the third period. You're up 2-1. Now you're down 4-2 because you gave up 3 goals within a little over a minute. That's not good, and that's not a recipe for success. You're not going to win a game when you do that. Fortunate for the Blue Jackets, they were on the correct side of things in that instance. One last thing, and I'm going to put this up on the screen once Hefty Duck gives his thoughts about the game and everything, which is there was a hit that Mason Marchment, not on purpose, put on Matthew Schaefer, who's one of their young up-and-coming players for the New York Islanders, Matthew Schaefer. Now, it's kind of like a bang-bang play. Both teams are trying to get the puck. They both bump into each other. And then, Schaefer kind of goes down, and the Islanders are not very fond of that, understandably so. But then Matthew Barzal, the player for the Islanders, with a very terrible, dirty hit, cheap shot, where he takes a stick like a baseball bat and swings it at the feet of Mason Marchment. And it's not just like a little tap. No, 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 no. He whacked it. He gave Mason Marchment a pretty good whack. And Mason Marchment falls down. Why that's dangerous? Why that's bad? That's very dangerous, and you can really hurt someone doing that. You can hurt their foot. Don't do that. There's a way to show your frustration and a way to not show your frustration. And what Matthew Barzal did there was a way to not show your frustration. You don't do that. If you want to show your frustration, there's better ways to do that. You don't do a dirty hit, a cheap shot where you whack someone's feet with baseball bat style with a hockey stick. You just don't do that. And I'm going to show, and the reason why it happens, I'll show this, I'll put it up on the screen, is Matthew Schaefer, he sticks out his foot, not on purpose, but he sticks out his foot, and Mason Marchment bumps into him, and that's why he goes down. That's why it happens. But Matthew Barzal, you did not need to do that. You did not need to do that dirty hit or you whack Mason Marchment's feet with a dirty hit like that. You could have seriously got him hurt. But overall, pretty good game there for the Blue Jackets. Pretty good effort there, especially in the third period with the 3-goal third period. You found a way to get it done. 8 out of 10 game for me because you gave up 2 goals. So I got to ding you for that. Overall, good game. 8 out of 10.
Yeah, pretty damn good game. I'm pretty okay with it. I'll get to the Mason Marchment thing here in a bit too. I'll talk a little bit about my thoughts on the game. I had the same thing in my notes. They reversed the third period. In fact, I think the game against the Kings was one of the first games that they didn't let a team score in the third period for like, what, a month?
Yeah.
Something like that. Like November 17th is what I think I saw the stat was. Damn. Yeah. In every single game, the other team scored in the third period. That's why they're not winning games. That's why all those fucking ties happen, which we'll talk about. We'll see if we have time to talk about that later too. I have a little bit of a weird hot take there, but so you know what else I noticed too? When Marchenko scores goals, the Blue Jackets win. Weird. In that short time that he had a goal drought, the Blue Jackets had 1 win out of like 6 games, 7 games, and it was an overtime win. You know, and it was lucky that they got that because it broke up the losing streak they had of at least like 1 game, and they kept on losing for a while. But yeah, no goals from Marchenko any one of those games. He gets a goal, boom, they win. And it's how it is, man. I was talking about this with Chinakhov. You got to produce. No matter how good you are, how good your potential is, you got to produce. And Marchenko is that guy. He is still at the very wait, no, he's not. He's not even close. Holy shit, Zach Werenski has so many points right now. Marchenko is tied for most goals in the team right now, though, with 14. Him and Werenski. Damn, I had not looked at the team points for a long time. That's crazy. Werenski's having another hell of a year. Anyway, we'll talk about him more, I'm sure. So, yeah, I'll talk about Barzal real quick because everything else pretty much was pretty well said. I mean, the Blue Jackets did not give up too many like dumb penalties. Now Marchment, I'll just start by saying it this way: Marchment has a reputation in the league, and I think that's where a lot of the judgment for what happened is coming from, because there's no knee-to-knee contact. There's not a single time where the knee or the whole leg hits the other whole leg. It is foot to foot. And Schaefer, being 18 years old, also the second. So at the end of the first period, so 18 minutes in, Mason Marchment got a 2-minute penalty for roughing Matthew Schaefer. So this is about 2 minutes in the second period. So what happens? Marchman's like, oh, you want roughing? I'll show you roughing. And he's like, at the end of the game, he talks about, he's like, well, that's kind of my thing. I get into the other team's heads and piss them off. That's a Brad Marchand thing to do. Some people think that that's shitty and ratty to do. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and defend somebody who's intending to injure somebody else, but if you're not injuring them and you're just being a little bit skeezy, it's like that's just part of the game. That's all. I mean, I play rough and tough, and I want to get into people's heads too, but not by taking cheap shots. Cheap shots are one thing. So I understand that in the moment it may have looked worse, but like if it was really that bad, Logan Schaefer popped up immediately. So they catch each other's feet. Schaefer kind of sticks his left foot out to pass the puck to the left. He shoots left, right? So he was passing to the left. See, that's why his foot's out that far. But then he both keeps it out there and sticks it out there further. He saw Marchment coming
right there
from a mile away. I mean, he had to. He was like turned right at him. And Marchment too looked like he held up a bit. They were both trying to avoid that knee on knee, but Marchment was trying to fuck with them. And and Schaefer did kind of flop a bit more. That was the slowest flop I've ever seen too. Like, I mean, he was probably getting tripped and he's going to get tripped up, but the way he did, and then as soon as he saw the ref's arm was up, boom, he's there. He's like, yeah, but zero contact, knee to knee. Zero. Not a little bit. And so this is why when I say, when does a penalty becomes assault? This is a penalty. This is a trip. This was intentional or not, a foot-to-foot trip with no intent to injure, as far as it looked. But yeah, there's so many people online talking about it was definitely a trip, but he stuck the foot out. And part of it was that it was the second time he targeted Schaefer because he just did it at the end of the period last time. And I'm sure that Patrick Raw was back in the locker room being like, you guys defend him with everything you have. Do not let that happen again. And then the first thing that happens in the second period is it happens again. So, I mean, there's no knee on knee. Marchment has a history, but it's ridiculous that they're calling for him to be suspended for this. But what's even more ridiculous, Schaefer pops up immediately. So you know that there's no injury in the play. Obviously, like we know by watching the slow motion replay that there was no knee-to-knee contact at all, not even a little bit. And so, respect for defending your young player, but no respect for taking a baseball swing with your stick at another human being. That's assault. That's not part of the game. You're not like clipping someone as you go by them. Clipping is also can be a penalty, but like you're not knocking them into the boards maybe a little extra harder than you would have prior to the game. You're not both throwing your gloves off, facing each other, fighting. No, you're taking a baseball swing with a stick while the play is dead. So there's no chance that you were like making a play here. There was no chance of this happening like, oh, by accident, like they're in a play, like maybe you're chopping at someone's stick, you're chopping, and you hit their foot or something. That's entirely way different. That's assault. There's zero reason for anything other than, so like, if you're scared of a dude, Barzell, if you're scared of someone like Mason Marchment because you don't play that game and you're not able to stick up for your teammates because you're not that guy, maybe just do a little jawing at him. Yeah. Like, that was stupid. You very possibly cost your team the game with that because you're their like second best scorer, number one scorer. I don't even know, but like, you're like one of the best players on the Islanders. So for everyone being like, "Oh, that's completely justified. That's justified. I respect him for sticking up for his teammate." Stick up for your teammate. Hell, even if you like cross-checked them, or if you did one of those sneaky little, like like when the players have like the end of their stick, kind of like then like they like jab it into someone, like sticking out a little bit further than like they would. If you did some sneaky bullshit, hell, even if he just sucker punched him, I'd have less of a problem with it.
Yeah.
So at least you're throwing a hand and not a weapon.
Yeah.
You're full on 2-hand baseball swinging a fucking hockey stick. It's assault. Anyway, that's my TED Talk. Thanks for coming.
No.
Yeah, other than that stupid moment, the Blue Jackets did fantastic in this. Yeah, so then it's ridiculous. After all that, the Blue Jackets get a power play, and then 10 seconds later, Pelech gets a tripping on Miles Wood, which was funny. But then later on, Marchment gets a penalty, 2 minutes for tripping, which it happens. It happens. But real quick, let's talk about Marchment as a whole just a little bit, because I was doing a tiny bit of digging, and I really like they say that he has a reputation of this happening in the NHL. And personally, people online are like, how many Blue Jackets players are going to get injured coming to his defense? And I'm going to tell you, not hardly anybody, because if Schaefer would have been on the Blue Jackets, nobody would have been swinging their stick. There would have been 10 dudes out there ready to throw hands. All of them throwing their hands. Not just Olivier, not just Voronkov. Gabranton's not out there. Not just, Boone Jenner, the captain. We've seen all of them in plenty of fights. Any one of them would have gladly stepped up for their teammate with their hands. You pussy ass bitch. Swinging a stick. I can't believe it, dude. Yeah, do I agree with trying to trip somebody? No. Every team's got their own, likes their own bad guy, I guess. I mean, ask anyone whose team Marchand has been on. They love him. I would love him on my team too. I hate him. So I get it. Believe me, I totally get it. Marchand is brand new to guy to the team too. Just some dumb shit, dude. Anyway, you got anything more about this? Continue on. That's all my thoughts on the game and the penalty.
I've just liked Mason Marchment. It's a small sample size, but he's been an awesome player for the Blue Jackets, and he's given something that the Blue Jackets need, which is he's given, versatility. He's been a top 6 guy, and he's given a little toughness, a little grit, a little attitude, a little grinded out mentality, and he has an awesome mustache, and he's good at scoring goals, which is, hey, you take that, and he's been awesome. And we'll talk more about him next game. So, anyways, your rating on this game, Hefty Duck?
This game, I will give this. Honestly, I want to, just because of the way the third period went for the Blue Jackets, because that's been their curse, I almost want to give them a 9 out of 10 for this. Very, very picky though, however, and give them an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Pretty solid overall.
Can't give up 2 goals and expect to get a 9 out of 10 from me. So that's 8 out of 10. But anyways, on to the next game. The Blue Jackets get a big win in Ottawa against the Senators. They beat the Ottawa Senators 4-1. Now, there was a little shenanigans with this game. It's nothing that the Blue Jackets or the Ottawa Senators did wrong. It's more of shenanigans as in, airplane issues. Because this was a back-to-back for the Blue Jackets. They played a game against the Islanders on a Sunday in Columbus, and then the next day, that Monday, they were going to play a game up in Ottawa against the Senators. And as you do with every back-to-back, you play the game, and then you get on a plane and fly to wherever you're going to right after the game. The Blue Jackets were not able to do that. There were some, weather issues. It was very cold and very windy. Wind, You had wind going as high as 50 miles per hour. And that's not good, and that's not safe to fly in. So the Blue Jackets stayed back. And then the next day, there was still a little bit of, the issues are still there. There's some plane issues, and, it's the wind and all this other stuff. And it kind of got to the point, well, are the Blue Jackets going to be able to get to Ottawa in time to play this game? Because there is a possibility that if you can't get there, then you can't play the game, and you're just going to have to play it at a different time. The Blue Jackets did not have to worry about that because they got to Ottawa. Now, because they flew in on a Monday when they should have flew in on that Sunday, the game got pushed back from 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, which was originally scheduled to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, to allow the Blue Jackets more time to get into Ottawa. So, there's your little shenanigans there. That is something that could have screwed the Blue Jackets there. Had they lost that game, I would have hated it, but you know what? I get it. That and other stuff got in their way. But it didn't get in their way because the Blue Jackets played a good game. First period, good period by the Blue Jackets. They get good shifts in the offensive zone, good puck possession, and eventually you get a goal from Boone Jenner. Good play by Cole Sillinger, gets the puck along the boards, and he just fires it at the net. No, screwing around or stick handling or anything. I'm just going to shoot it at the net. He shoots it at the net, and Boone Jenner's right there. Puck bounces off his stick, goes into the net. Good goal, Boone Jenner. And Jet Greaves makes some big saves to keep the Blue Jackets in the game, and it's good period. Second period was, it was okay. Could have been better. You do give up a goal there, and it happens because of a dumb brain fart, because Cole Sillinger is not paying attention. He's not paying attention, and he bumps into another Blue Jackets player, and because of that, a dude is left, there's a little open space that the Senators take advantage of, and then the dude who's wide open shoots and scores. So if you don't have that dumb brain fart moment, or if you actually pay attention, that goal doesn't happen. But it did, because you weren't paying attention and you bumped into another guy, and that left that spot open. Third period was way better. Well, second period, you do get a goal from Damon Severson, so it started out good. Bomb of a shot, kind of up high by the point. But other than that, it wasn't a very good period. Third period, way better third period. Much better, much better. You get to start off right away, you get a big goal from Denton Matejchuk to make it 3-1. And again, it's just shoot the puck, put it on net. It's a shot from up high, shoot it, it goes in. And that's what I like to see. I like it. Just shoot it, put the puck on net. Either you score, or you can get it on the rebound, you get the puck, and just put the pressure on it. Grind it out, get a good shift in the offensive zone. You can score in a different way. And honestly, from that point on, there really wasn't a lot going on for Ottawa. The Blue Jackets played a real good game defensively. They didn't really give them much to shoot at. And eventually, the Blue Jackets get another big goal from Kirill Marchenko. And we're going to play that goal later on in the show. It was just an awesome goal. Just awesome. Where Kirill Marchenko, he's the one that gets the goal, and he starts the play by making a big play in the defensive zone, by making a big hit to separate, the Ottawa player from the puck. The puck pops loose. The Blue Jackets get it. It goes to Adam Fantilli. Adam Fantilli skates into the offensive zone, and he makes it look like he's going to shoot it. So then the Ottawa defenders bite on it, and at the last moment passes it over to Mason Marchment. And Mason Marchment looks like he's going to shoot it. But then at the last moment, quickly passes over to Kirill Marchenko. Marchenko shoots and scores. Ottawa's goalie had no chance, blew it right past him. Awesome goal, sniped. And then Blue Jackets played a good game defensively, and they closed it out. So, honestly, minus giving up the goal there, that was one of the best games you played all season long. Just real good defensive effort, good offensive effort, good 5-on-5 play, minus giving up that one goal. So that's really the only bad thing. You gave up a goal, but other than that, you played a good game, one of the best games you played all season long. Good job, Blue Jackets. Great game, good effort. 9 out of 10 game for me.
Great fucking game, boys. Holy shit. This is one of the ones where I talked about where Blue Jackets
oh boy. Hefty Duck crapped out there. Oh boy. All right.
Blue Jackets popped in. Sorry about that. Clocked in, showed up, showed out, literally just did their job. Did exactly what they should have done their job. Other teams gonna score like here and there occasionally. Jake Sanderson's goal was not bad by the Ottawa Senators, but 27 of 28 shots, and not to mention, I'm not sure why, but this was Greaves' second start in 2 days.
Yeah, back to back.
Back to back starts. Rarely do you see that.
Yeah.
Granted, the Blue Jackets are coming back after a pretty decent break for the holidays and whatnot, but it was just kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe Elvis was ill or sick or something like that.
Always the mystery with Elvis Merzlikins. You wonder what's going on.
Yeah, it's all, and you know what? Even last year, they said that they're going to be more secretive about like why people are out for injury and stuff like that. Sorry, I'm moving forward and backwards because I'm out of focus on my camera. It's pissing me off. There we go. So yeah, solid game. Kirill Marchenko once again scoring goals. Once again, Blue Jackets winning. Surprise, surprise. Word of advice to literally anybody in the NHL, and I guess hindsight's 2020, Senators, don't fight Matthew Olivier. Like, why are you like? So I just seen a thing from Jeff Svoboda earlier, saying something about how like on whatever hockey fights, Olivier's had 20 fights since the last 2 seasons, and that according to an online poll, he has lost none of them. So, and you know what? Olivier's first game back was against the Islanders. Maybe that's another part of why anyone was on the Islanders was actually kind of too scared to like actually do something towards the Blue Jackets, because like it's not just Olivier out there. There's a whole team of guys willing to whoop your ass if they need to. If they need to. Yeah, don't fight Olivier. You're dumb. Curtis McDermott. But a couple other dumb penalties in this game. The holding Claude Giroux was a little bit dumb. Shit like that's going to happen here and there. Third period, no penalties from either team. That was pretty impressive. I got to give huge props for the Blue Jackets third period in this game too. 2 goals for, 0 goals against. That's what we need to see happening. All of it being 5-on-5 hockey. So, yeah, love seeing that combination there. When Marchenko scored, he had assists from Marchment and Fantilli. Love to see that out there. I mean, it does seem like Marchment's filling in pretty good in a spot that like didn't even really realize we needed. But I'm not like ripping on the dude by any means, but Monahan's not producing like he was last season. And neither is Boone Jenner. So I think having Marchment in there to supplement that is good. And I know that he didn't produce as much for the Kraken recently, or Seattle, but he's producing here now. The Blue Jackets. Sometimes that change of scenery is all you need. Maybe Chinakhov's going to go off and score 20 goals this season. I hope he does. Good for him. But he wasn't doing it here. He was never going to do it here. It just wasn't going to happen. So anyway, big props to that line. Big props to them. Big props for the third period. 9 out of 10 game because you're on the road. Love to see it. Would have been a 10-10 if it was a shutout.
Yeah.
Otherwise, 9 out of 10, boys. Getting it done. Love to see it.
That's right. You can't
Also,
give it.
Huge props to Jet Greaves.
Yep.
Huge. 964 save percentage for this game. Stopped 27 of 28 shots. Hell yeah, brother. In your second night, second win in a row. Come on.
Yeah.
Love to see it. Love to see it.
Like you want a 10 out of 10. You can't be giving up any goals.
Yeah, and
That's just.
I didn't watch the replay yet. Let me watch it real quick and see what. Yeah, it's a stupid turnover, middle of the ice, and then Blue Jackets players run into each other. So it's a solid shot, kind of lucky. They just look like everyone's feet were just a half second too slow on that one. So anyway,
This is we're gonna put this up on the screen. This is the goal that Kirill Marchenko scored, and it was awesome. So I wish this clip would have started just a touch more, because in this area where my mouse is, Kirill Marchenko makes a big play in the defensive zone to hit one of the Ottawa's players that pops the puck loose, and then it goes to a Blue Jackets player, and eventually goes to Adam Fantilli, who then is going to pass it to Mason Marchment, who then is going to pass it to Kirill Marchenko. Going to shoot and score. Awesome play here. So here we go. Fantilli going to get it, and look. We'll back this up here just a little bit. You know, kind of looks like maybe he could shoot it, and then we're going to drop it to Marchment, and then Marchment going to quickly over here. Marchenko's going to get it. This is kind of a hard shot, though, because he does kind of have a guy like right on him. Fantilli's kind of in the way. You got another guy right here. But, boom, shoot, score. Just a snipe, blow it past the goalie. No chance. Overall, pretty good goal here. Nicely done, Kirill Marchenko. Got some Blue Jackets fans in the crowd, even in Ottawa. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There you go. So there we go. And, okay. So this is what I'm talking about right here. So it's not going to show in the replay, but earlier on, Kirill Marchenko makes a big play by hitting an Ottawa player that makes the pop loose, and the Blue Jackets are going to get it, and then eventually to Fantilli, then to Marchment, then to Marchenko, shoot and score. So it's a good play in their defensive zone, which goes to Fantilli. Fantilli, you're right here, and then it's going to pass it over to Marchment. And then Marchenko, we're going to shoot and score. So awesome effort here by the Blue Jackets. So have Duck, your thoughts on this goal here?
Solid playmaking from the Blue Jackets, solid passing. Anyone who's been viewing the show for any point these last few months, last year or even the year before that, you've heard me say about how pissy I get when passes aren't like to a stick, when it's just out in the middle of nowhere. Because look right here, he could have just dumped that in and dumped it around, hoping that Marchment would have been able to get there in time to maybe pass it back in. But no, Fantilli passed it directly to his stick, which allowed Marsh meant to look directly across the ice with his head up instead of head down, gunning for that puck that's now possibly by the boards. And dump and chase is fine. There's a time and place for it, but making sure your puck goes to a stick obviously is better. It's just because it's there. The person is there with the puck immediately. They're not trying to chase after, not trying to get it. So good looking out. Good looking out, and then amazing finish by Marchenko. You can't get much better than that. He's one of the best shots in the league right now, by far. It would be cool to see him getting some more goals. He's got 14 now. I mean, he's a lock for at least 20, but love to see him get so about what? Not quite the halfway point of the season right now. We're like 10 games out.
Halfway is like when you're back from the All-Star break.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because I think there's 37 games. 38 games played. 38 games played. Yeah. Marchenko missing 4 of those. So good looking out, Marchie. Love to see it. Love to see you producing. Hope that this, keeps you awake, keeps you going, keep producing like you were these last few wins.
Yeah. All right, then. So we'll let this play, then finish out, and we'll move on to the next thing. All right. So on the next couple things we're going to talk about here. First, Chris retweeted the stream here, so thank you, Chris. Thank you for doing that. Let's see here. Doomslayer Dave says Carolina not helping us. LOL.
What up, Dave? Welcome in. Welcome back.
So I don't know what Carolina's not helping us in, but apparently they're not. Oh well. Okay. So on to next thing here. So before the Blue Jackets game in LA, the Blue Jackets social media always does a little usually pictures or a video of what it's like before the game, of usually players at warm-ups. What are they doing before the game? And this is no different. Before the game against the Kings, the Blue Jackets posted a video on their Twitter page of Adam Fantilli on an ATV. Why was he on an ATV? I'm not one of those motorized vehicles. I'm not exactly sure, but we'll back this up so you can see it. There's Adam Fantilli. There he is. He's riding one of those ATV things. So why is he doing that? I don't know, but he is.
That's dope. I wonder if that's what Greaves uses when he's in his gear to get around.
Yeah,
you ever see how sometimes if a goalie has a long walk, they'll put him on a dolly or something and cart him around?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I would have liked to know the context of this and where he found that and why he's on it, but you know what? It looks like he's having a fun time. So when I saw that video, it's yep, I had to share that on the show. There's that. Okay. So on to the next, which is this. So, we've talked about this on the show before, how I like, and Hefty Duck likes it too. We like different mascot logos. We have different Big Ten mascots from different Big Ten schools with different hockey mascot logos playing hockey from Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, playing hockey, to the Badger for Wisconsin, playing hockey. Michigan State Spartans, it's a Spartan playing hockey. We have the Minnesota Golden Gophers having a Gopher playing hockey. And of course, Brutus, my guy Brutus, Ohio State's mascot, and he's playing hockey. But wait, there's more, because I kind of went down this rabbit hole of different logos from different mascots playing different sports. And it's just awesome. So, first off, we have the Gopher. He's playing basketball. I just think this is funny. We have a Gopher playing basketball. You know, I just think that's funny. After Doc, anything to say here?
No, it's cracking my shit. I was talking about this earlier, where it looks like he's crossing you up. Yeah. So look at his form. Look at his form. So, head up, eyes looking forward, looking for the pass. You know, dude's ready. I love it. Love it.
He's ready to go. Ready to dunk on your ass. Anyways, next up, what about the Gopher? But he's playing baseball.
That's awesome. I wonder whose stance they modeled that on.
Yeah. Interesting. Here's the what this. So I do a little memory of this. Is that so? This past April, I was in Columbus, and I saw Ohio State baseball and a Blue Jackets game. And the Ohio State baseball, they played the Gophers. You know, at Ohio State, and that was cool. Ohio State unfortunately lost that day, but you know, their pitching was doing them no favors that day. They gave up 10 runs. You know, Ohio State had better pitching that day. They could have won, but they didn't. So when I saw this Gopher logo, it reminded me of, you know, when I saw Ohio State baseball play the Gophers. So, but then again, you know, next day the Blue Jackets made up for it because the Blue Jackets won 7-0, and they smoked that Capitals ass and just destroyed them. So in the end, it wasn't all bad. So yeah, I saw Ohio State lost, but the Blue Jackets won. So it's all good in the end. Anyways, how about the Gopher, but he's playing football?
Yeah. It's a dangerous way for the cleats to be facing.
Yeah.
He's about to step on you just to get past.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And then let's see here what we got. No, let's see here. And of course, you know, we showed you the Notre Dame Fighting Irish with the hockey stick, but how about the Notre Dame Fighting Irish playing football and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish playing basketball?
Much along the lines with the other mascot, because pretty much everything with the Fighting Irish, the logo, like the head is pretty much the same in exactly all of them, which is, to me, it makes this hilarious.
Yeah.
But he's about to cross you up in basketball too.
Yeah.
My favorite one here has to be the hockey one.
Yep.
I like it.
Yep, I agree.
That could flow.
But wait, there's more. Can't forget about Brutus playing some basketball.
So I was picking on this one a little bit before the show, and I'll mention it here too. So this is just an example of Ohio State's obsession with football.
Yeah.
Because Brutus has, so like you see like the little towel around his waist with the little thing on there. That is what football players use to, like, specifically usually receivers and quarterbacks, to help keep their hands warm or dry them. Yeah. And I think it's funny, but also, never mind. I'm not gonna say it on there. I'll tell you it later. Yeah, overall, I like this a lot. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. It's good. It's good. So, so that is good. So that I just love these mascot logos, here. So that is good. So let's see here. You know what? Why not? I got one more thing for logos to talk about. Then we'll go on to something else here, which is we'll put this up on the screen. So sportslogos.net. If you want a good place to look at just different logos that different teams have had over the years, this is like an awesome place because you name a logo, they probably have it on their website. So, for example, let's see here. Oh my, come on, don't be doing this to me. But you could pick a team, it's there, whatever. So why is this? It should be working here. You know what? We'll save it for a different time. It's fine. Anyways, so we'll put this up on the screen. We got a big sports day coming up in Columbus this upcoming Wednesday, December 31st, 2025, New Year's Eve. The Blue Jackets have a big game against the New Jersey Devils, and Ohio State has a bowl game against the Miami Hurricanes. Big day for sports in Ohio. Looking forward to it. We're watching the Blue Jackets first. That'll be at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, and then at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Ohio State's bowl game is on. So that's cool. So best of luck to both the Blue Jackets and Ohio State. So that's going to be cool. I've talked about, Hefty Duck and I have talked about this on the show before, but there's some of you out there that need to update your thinking on how you view Columbus, because there's some people that are like, Ohio State has a game the same day as the Blue Jackets. Do the Blue Jackets need to change their start time? And to that I say, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Number one, it was never going to happen to begin with. Why? Because the Devils have a game before the Blue Jackets game this upcoming Wednesday. The Devils have a game on a back-to-back. And if you have a game on a back-to-back, there's a rule in place that you need to be at least 22 hours in between games. So that means the earliest it could start is 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. The Devils are in Toronto. So hockey games are generally speaking like 3 hours-ish. So that game's probably going to get done at like 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And that's if it doesn't go to like overtime or a shootout, then it's going to go even later. So 10 o'clock Eastern Time at minimum. And then you have to go back to the locker room, change, put on your clothes. You got to talk to the media, and then you got to pack up all your stuff, and then you got to get on the plane, and then you got to fly down. And realistically, the Devils are probably not going to get to Columbus until like 2 or 3 in the morning. And then they got to get ready to go for the game against the Blue Jackets the next day pretty quick. Do you really think the Devils would, even if the Blue Jackets wanted to change the start time, do you really think the Devils would agree to that, putting them even at a more disadvantage? No, they would not agree to that. So that's another reason why it's not happening. Another reason why it's not happening. Years ago, Columbus used to have cowtown image from the outside world. Like, oh, Columbus, what's that? I don't know what that is. Do they have like Ohio State? Like, okay, well, what else do they have? I don't know what that is. You know, the Chill Factor book, which is a good book that talks about the hockey history of Columbus and how Columbus got the Blue Jackets. And in that book, it's talked about from the outside world that Columbus had a cowtown image. Oh, they probably just like Ohio State and have nothing else. But the Blue Jackets coming to Columbus changed that forever. There's no more cowtown image because people understand that Columbus is a great place to be and there's so much to do. Blue Jackets and the Crew and the Clippers and Ohio State and Short North and German Village and North Market and R-Bar and German Village and so much more. A lot of stuff going on in Columbus. You are not helping. That cowtown image is long gone, but you're helping bringing that back. If you ask, oh, can we change it? You're asking the Devils, can we change it because of Ohio State? That's an embarrassing look because the Devils, they're from New Jersey and they don't know two shits about Ohio State. That doesn't matter to them. They're probably looking at that like, you're asking us to change the start time for a college? They would laugh at you and say, no. So that's another reason why it wouldn't have happened, even if the Blue Jackets wanted to happen. Change it. No. And another thing, the Blue Jackets have been in Columbus for 25 seasons now. They've been here long enough that they've built up a fan base that's good enough that shows up to every game regardless on how the Blue Jackets are doing. Because there's people that legitimately love the Blue Jackets that much. Hefty Duck and I were one of those people. So pander to those people. You pander to those people. Because if you're so worried about Ohio State that day, you weren't paying attention to the Blue Jackets that day. That's okay. It's okay. But just be honest with yourself. You were more worried about Ohio State that day than the Blue Jackets. You weren't probably going to go to the game or watch anyways. Okay? So there's that. So at some point, you got to stop worrying about what Ohio State is doing. You've been here long enough and you built a good enough fan base that shows up regardless. Also, in September of 2021, Blue Jackets had a preseason game. The Clippers had a game. The Crew had a game. All at the same time. All home games. Did anyone worry about start times or changing it? Nope. They all had the start time at the same time and all went fine because Columbus is big enough to support all teams in Columbus. And then this past February 2025, the Crew had a home game and the Blue Jackets had a home game at the same time on the same day. No one changed start times because Columbus is big enough to support both. The Blue Jackets and the Crew realizing, you know what, we're big enough to support both, but also, you know what, some people will go to the Crew game that day and some people will go to the Blue Jackets game that day. That's just how it is. And last thing, this past November, Ohio State had a home game. And the Blue Jackets had a home game at right around the same time on the same day. No one changed start times. Because again, Columbus is big enough to support both. They've been here long enough that you can do both. You need to, in my opinion, you need to stop worrying about what other teams are doing. Accept it. Some people are not going to go to your game that day, and some people will. And that's just how it is, because that's what other cities do. Generally speaking, they're not out there worrying about other teams and what they're doing. And, oh, no, someone might not come to our game because there's another game going on at the same time. They just don't. So, in my opinion, let's get rid of this nonsense of, oh, no, there's another game at the same time. We might have to change the start time. No. Change your thinking on how you view Columbus. Columbus, great place to be, and it's big enough to support all teams at the same time. They've done it multiple times, and they can do it again. They can do it again. I have no doubts that the Blue Jackets are going to get a good crowd tomorrow for tomorrow's big game against the New Jersey Devils. And hey, Ohio State, they're playing a bowl game down in Texas, but I have no doubt they're going to get good support as well from the many people watching on TV, because Ohio State has a good fan base as well. So stop worrying about what other teams are doing and start worrying about, oh no, the start time, because we're done doing that, in my opinion. Columbus is big enough to support all at the same time. They've shown they can do it, and they can do it again.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be much controversy about when these games time start. It's a couple loud fans from either way. They're just bitching.
Yeah.
That's it. It's a couple of loud people. Louder you are does not mean you're more right. My whole, like, all I really have to say about it is, like, why do you think they would? Especially because Ohio State's not playing in Columbus. So what's it matter, really? Like, if people have tickets for the game already, for the Blue Jackets game, they're just gonna watch on their phone. They're just gonna watch the football game on their phones or something. Like, I would much rather, if I had the choice of watching a live event or watching an event on my TV, I'm gonna go to the live event, even if it's not, like, I don't know, dude. It's just dumb. Honestly, I'm gonna end up being busy tomorrow as fuck. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to watch either of them. Shit. I've almost every year for the past, like, 3-5 years, I've gone for the New Year's Eve game for the Blue Jackets. I just don't have time this year. Too much shit going on, but you know, wish I could. This is, like, not a new problem. I mean, it's probably something literally talked about every year at the beginning, because everyone knows the Buckeyes are super good and very, very likely possibly going to be in the national championship or whatever bowl game they're in, every year. Yeah. So, yeah, get over it. I know what, given the choice, what I'll be watching instead, and it's going to be a lot more red, white, and blue instead of scarlet and gray. So,
yeah. And this isn't to say that it's not going to be a good game. It absolutely could be a good game between Ohio State and Miami. But the thing is Miami has been a team that really hasn't done anything in the last 20-plus years. The last time they, did something interesting enough is when they played in the national championship game when Ohio State beat them over 20-plus years ago for the 2002 national championship game. Ever since then, once Ohio State beat them, Miami really hasn't done anything. So, that does count for something. And, most schools are not on Ohio State's level. Ohio State is, like, way up here. And then most schools are, like, down here. So most of the time, you cannot compete with, like, way up here. Most of the time, Ohio State smokes that ass and just destroys teams. And I wouldn't be surprised if that happened against Miami, as if Ohio State just whooped them. Because Miami, since getting beat by Ohio State in the national championship game in 2002, really hasn't done anything. They're kind of like down here when Ohio State is, like, way up here. So I wouldn't be surprised if down here got smoked by way up here by Ohio State. And generally speaking, hockey games are probably more competitive than football. More bang for your buck. That's besides the point. I'll be watching the Blue Jackets game. But, best of luck to the Blue Jackets and Ohio State. Big games coming up for the Blue Jackets against the Devils, and Ohio State has their bowl game against Miami. So, best of luck to both teams.
Oh, yeah. Good luck to you. Go Buckeyes. I ain't even ripping on the Buckeyes. I ain't saying that. I ain't saying I don't like them. Just saying.
All right. Now, next up, we do have some, hockey news involving Ohio State. So, because Ohio State women's hockey team has been consistently good now, playing in 4 national championships, winning 2 of them, there's little perks, a little benefits to that. One of the benefits is you get a player who has 33 points in 19 games commit to your school. And not only did the Ohio State women's hockey team get a good player that has 33 points in 19 games, you also get a player that's played at Shattuck St. Mary's. Why does that matter? Because Shattuck St. Mary's is a really good hockey school in Minnesota. Not surprising. Minnesota good at hockey because that's what they do. They're the state of hockey. Really good at hockey. Hockey's everywhere. Shattuck St. Mary's also has a history of producing really good hockey players. Top talent. Jack Johnson, one of the best defensemen ever that the Blue Jackets have ever had. He went there. Sidney Crosby went there. And a whole bunch of other guys. You can go down the list of guys that went to Shattuck St. Mary's. So if you play good there, you're probably going to be a good player, hockey player elsewhere. So good pickup for Ohio State women's hockey to get a player for your women's hockey team that has 33 points in 19 games and is playing at a really good hockey school in Minnesota. And last thing I'll say about this, and we can get Hefty Duck in there if he wants to say something about this, is what happens, Ohio State. When you put effort into your hockey program, you get rewarded. You get good stuff like this. You get the best of the best that want to come to your school and play hockey. This is what you get. When you put effort into your school, you get good players. You're doing this for the women. Now step your game up, get off your ass, and let's go. Do it for the men. But historically, from my perspective, you're not really interested in doing that. You're okay with just being a football school. And metaphorically speaking, other sports kind of just rot on the vine. They're just there, generally speaking. Obviously, women's hockey being the exception to that. But, when you put effort into your hockey program, you're rewarded and you get good hockey players. Would like Ohio State to do that for the men. Step up your game. Let's go. Get off your ass. Let's go. Let's do it. Step up your game. You can do it for the women. You can do it for the men. Let's put more effort into the men's hockey program. Let's do it. Let's get it done. Because top players, from a men's perspective, are not coming to Ohio State. There's no reason. There just isn't. Maybe one day that changes. But for right now, there's no reason. There is no Johnny Gaudreau type of a talent. There is no Jonathan Toews. There is no Jack Eichel. There is no Zach Werenski. There is no Adam Fantilli type of a talent coming out of Ohio State. But you can look at other schools like a Michigan or a Minnesota, a Boston College, a Wisconsin, a Michigan State, a Michigan. Those types of schools are producing top talent. They put more effort into their hockey program. They're rewarded. And one of the ways they get rewarded, they get better hockey players. So would love to see Ohio State to get with the program here and put more effort into your men's hockey program because, you get rewarded and you get better players and you can be like the women's team and get better players. But for that to happen, you need to put more effort into the hockey program. Because if you don't, you're not getting the top players. You're just not. And then you'll do what Ohio State hockey's been doing, which is basically, for the most part, they're kind of just there. They're kind of just average at best. And maybe if you're lucky, you have a good season every now and again. You make the NCAA tournament, and maybe you'll make the run to the Frozen Four. But to be consistently good like the women, you need to put more effort in. And if you do that, you get better players. So that's what I would like to see is just come on, Ohio State. Let's step up your game here. Get with the program. Get off your ass and let's do it. Put more effort into the men's hockey program, just like the women's hockey program, so you can get, better players. So that way you're not just known as like a football school. So more effort into your men's hockey program, just like you do for the women's. Let's go. You can do it, Ohio State. It's time.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see them turn more into some sort of powerhouse because, only makes sense having, one of the very few professional league teams in your city is a hockey team.
Yeah.
Becoming a hockey town.
It is, though, because of the Blue Jackets, and Ohio State women's hockey has been good, and Ohio State women's hockey has been working with the Blue Jackets on different things like the development camp and other sort of events. And Ohio State women's hockey has been at multiple Blue Jackets games. And obviously, the Blue Jackets had the outdoor game at Ohio State. And, Ohio State women's hockey was at the Blue Jackets outdoor game. So there is some movement, some support there. We just, let's get with the program here. Let's get the men's team going here, being consistently good. Put more effort into it so they can get better players just like the women. But to do that, you got to actually care about hockey and, stop being a football-only school, which is what you care about, which is fine. But then don't act surprised when all the other top talent goes somewhere else. Right. So we have that. Next up, continue with the hot college hockey theme. So I saw this and I just thought this is really cool. So the World Junior Hockey Tournament that happens every year is in Minnesota this year. And so where they're playing hockey where the Gophers are, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, and they're also playing where the Wild play. And so this is a video from one of the many people that are in Minnesota covering this. Who's this from here? This is Jason Jansen, Duench. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, but let's see. He is a sports reporter for the Salute Star. I don't know what that is, but he's a reporter for that. But anyways, so he posted this video on his Twitter page, and the Gophers they have this really cool hockey facility that kind of reminded me of what the Blue Jackets have. The Blue Jackets have one of their practice facility, the Ohio Health Ice House, is connected to Nationwide Arena. So the Blue Jackets, they can practice at Nationwide Arena. They can also practice at the Ohio Health Ice House, and they don't even have to leave the building. It's connected, so they can just go into like one hallway, and they can walk in that hallway, and they're either at the Ohio Health Ice House or they're in Nationwide Arena. And that's exactly what the Gophers have, which is this is where the women's team plays, and there's this hallway that you go down that literally connects the women's hockey arena to the men hockey arena. And it's cool, and I wanted to show this video. There it is. There's the little hallway right there. They're walking. They're walking. What do we call that?
It just cracks me up that they have to like skate across the ice first,
Yeah.
and then walk across this hallway, and then skate back onto the ice.
Yeah.
At least obviously they're prepared. They have like the rubber form to walk out on everything, and then, you know, that is kind of funny.
But like,
I hear it's the women. Is that the women's or is it the practice rink?
No, the hockey rink you saw.
Yeah, the smaller one.
This is the women.
Damn.
I know it's really good, but that's Minnesota though. Like they take their hockey seriously up there.
I mean, the Minnesota men's arena is fucking fire looking. That looks so nice.
So like, it's no surprise that Minnesota takes their hockey seriously. So it's not, and they are the state of hockey. So it's not surprising that even their women have a really good hockey facility. Even got like little press, like little suites on top.
Suites up there. Damn. Nice.
For a women's game, which is that's cool. But yeah, so we'll play this again. So as you see, so the women, this little hallway, and we're gonna walk down towards the men. Okay, so similar to what the Blue Jackets have.
Pretty interesting. Pretty cool.
And we'll get a good shot of where the men are playing it a bit here. But yeah, that as you can see that the men have a real good hockey facility. I'll back this up here. But yeah, that's pretty good. So I just, thought that was pretty cool. We'll get another shot of that right here, so you get a better shot of what that looks like. So here we go. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so we'll put it up on the screen. That's the men's facility for the Minnesota Golden Gophers, and that's where one of the hockey rinks where the World Junior Hockey Tournament is. And as you can see, that is a very nice hockey rink that the Gophers have there, and it's something I wish Ohio State had.
I'm sorry. What? I spaced out for a second.
Well, I'm just saying this is where. So this is one of the arenas where the World Junior Hockey Tournament's being played, and it's also what the Gophers have. And as you can see, it's really nice, and it's something I wish that Ohio State had.
That is pretty damn nice. Dang. Do you know how many people at seats?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know how many people at seats at all?
No, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a lot. And even up here, you can see kind of like the little suites up there too. There's like the women, that's really nice. So,
oh yeah, gotcha.
But to no one's surprise, Minnesota has good hockey facilities because they're the state of hockey and take their hockey really seriously up there. Good hockey culture. It's something I wish Columbus, there's some good hockey culture there, but it's nowhere near Minnesota, and it's something I kind of wish, Columbus had what Minnesota had for hockey culture, but still good, but could be better. But anyways, that is besides, the point. So there is that. We'll put this off. I'm going to look at, a bookmarks if I got anything else to talk about, here. Let's see here. You know what? I'll put this up on the screen. I'm really, Hefty Duck, since you're an artist too, so we'll get you in here. I'm really, I am not a graphic art designer. I'm just some guy. So, not really artsy fartsy, not really artistic. But even for me, when I look at the graphics that the Blue Jackets have been posting on game days, I really like this. It really looks nice, neat, well put together, and professional. And I just like it. And I like the third jersey color because it was a third jersey day because the Blue Jackets wear their third jersey against division opponents. So third jersey colors. But I really like this. I just like the color, like how they use like that vintage looking cream and then like that dark blue. I like that. And I like the light blue. And I just like everything. This just looks really nice in my opinion. So Hefty Duck, as an artist yourself, what's your thoughts on this?
I like it, and I think part of why it sticks out so much is because there's no other team that really uses this color.
Yeah.
There's ones that might be close here and there, and other teams use white all the time, but specifically paired the light blue with the cream. It's just one of my favorite combos there.
Yeah.
Normally, like if I were to be making a design myself, I would not have picked the silver to go in, even like it's not really in the design, but it's on the jersey there.
Yeah.
But it works so well here because of the two-tone blue and everything.
Yeah.
Just pretty all right all around. Like to see it.
That's good. So, and then another graphic that again they post that I really like. Again, it's a game day graphic. Again, it's a similar thing. They post obviously, so the game against the Senators, they posted this. And again, not an artist, but I really like this because everything that just stands out. I really like that shade of dark blue that they used. And then obviously the white letters stands out on the dark blue. And I even like the red that they use with the dark blue on the red and just everything. Like, I really do like this. So, again, Hefty Duck as an artist, what are your thoughts on this?
No, pretty good. Like with the other one, it's solid design work all around.
Yeah.
The one thing that's always kind of bothered me a little tiny bit with the away pant shorts is that they don't quite fully match the dark blue on the away jerseys. They never have. They probably won't. It's just like it's one of those things where you probably get one from one brand and the other one from another brand, and it's very, very, very close. It's very slightly off too. That's just me.
Yeah.
When they're on the ice on TV, I don't notice it. I don't think about it. But when you see still shots of them, I'm like, it's killing me inside. It's like a quarter of a shade off. But anyway, overall, pretty like it a lot. The I do think the graphics design this year has been really, really good.
Yeah.
And it's something I notice every year too, because like in the sometimes you just scroll past, you don't really think about it, but like someone like most likely an actual human made those designs.
I know AI is getting pretty good there, but I don't think AI is making that.
Not with the lettering in there, not with the words. No, I can't spell for shit.
No. And like the picture Komarchenko and the logo, like, nah, that's not, AI is not making that. We're not there yet. So pretty good. Let's see. Check the bookmark, see if we have anything else to share here. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Okay, more shenanigans with Adam Fantilli. It's a video. So we'll put this up on the screen. We'll back this up so you can see it. Adam Fantilli's kind of got some like goofy thing he's wearing on his head. And he tries giving it to Dmitry Voronkov, and he's not having it. He's like, nope, nope, nope. So, Adam Fantilli.
Johnny doesn't even have any hair to mess up. He should have worn it. He hasn't. He's got like mostly a shaved head.
Yeah. Adam Fantilli must be like the goofball before the game between the ATV and this. He's just having fun, I guess.
I know it's something stupid and little, but
yeah,
just the way that he immediately turns to go like the whole rest of the team. I swear, like every little thing more I find about Adam Fantilli and see him on and off the ice, man, dude just feels like a captain.
Well,
I know this is really small and stupid. Like it's not just things like this isn't the only example of something like that. But I don't know. I just love seeing this guy.
No, and to tell you the truth, you said the captain with Adam Fantilli. I wouldn't be surprised if that eventually happens, where he is the captain for the Blue Jackets, because he is certainly on a path, a trajectory where something like that is going to happen. I would not be surprised at all if Adam Fantilli is a captain eventually for the Blue Jackets, because he is becoming, he's still a young guy, 21, but he's becoming a more and more vocal leader. Not just on the ice, you see it in the locker room, you see him talking to the Columbus media more and just being more vocal and just sharing his thoughts and feelings on stuff and being like, hey, we need to be better, we need to do this or that, or, oh, I liked our game, we played a good game there. Really standing up for him and the team, and, during the game, big moments where he makes a big play to help out the team, or that one time he got in a fight against the Devils, sticking up for his teammates. He is just really becoming an awesome player for the Blue Jackets. Offense, defense, power play, penalty kill, and so much more. He's the type of guy that the elite type of talent that the Blue Jackets thought they were getting when they drafted him. So he's been so fun to watch, so great to see developing into the elite type of talent that he absolutely can be, shown to be. He can be a great player, and I wouldn't be surprised if he is eventually the captain for the Blue Jackets.
Hell yeah, would be pretty cool. So, you got anything else for tonight?
Nah, I don't really have anything else.
Right
no.
On. Cool. I was just curious.
So
I don't have anything else right now.
No, you know what? Well, my Adam Fantilli slide didn't go through for some reason, so we'll just put that up on the screen just for a moment here. Why? Boom. See that? Why weren't you popping up when I was talking about Adam Fantilli? Like, come on now. But it happens. It happens. But hey, we're talking about Adam Fantilli right now, and there's the slide. Just what we need. So, there's that. So, last couple things we'll say here, and then we're going to get out of here. So, as always, you should totally like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would be greatly appreciated. Like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would be greatly appreciated. Like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please tell your family, please tell your friends, like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. So, Hefty Doc, I'll save my stuff for last, but you can say your stuff or anything else you want to say.
Hell yeah. Forget to like, share, subscribe, do all the things that we'll just say like repeatedly every time. on the show. Y'all have been so great to us this year. It's been awesome, especially the audio side of things this year. It's been really taken off. You guys are awesome. Don't forget to check me out online. We don't have sponsors, so this is basically our ad read, me promoting my Instagram and my tattoo stuff. So check me out. It's at Lance Schrock Tattoos on Instagram. Schrock spelled SCH. I know it's a pain in the ass. I should make it something easier, but I just got a big sticker for the front door of our shop that says that, so now I can't change my Instagram handle for like a while, which fuck. Anyway, check me out. It's a fun time. I've done a cool stinger tattoo not too long ago. Check out my artwork. Don't forget to usually it's kind of a weird day. We'll talk about this at the very, very end, but it's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Y'all don't see us very often on Tuesdays. Our usual day has kind of been Sundays for the most part, except for when it doesn't work. We don't do shows on game days prior to games because it's immediately irrelevant.
Yeah.
So we're more of like a reporting after the fact as opposed to like we're not breaking news type people. Otherwise we'd be doing shit every day. So that does lead me to my next point being in the new year, the first two podcasts of the new year are going to be on the first two Mondays of the year, the 5th and the 12th. So just I'll remind you that again at the end of the episode. But that's all I got. I don't got nothing else really to shout out or promote. Thanks y'all for watching or listening.
Yeah, so this is our final show of 2025. Next show will be in 2026. So that's gonna be cool. A lot of stuff to talk about going into next year. A lot of fun stuff. But anyways, as I always do, got to give a shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc. The best of the best. Good guy. Life of the party. And enjoyed seeing you at holidays like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter, and so much more. And family get-togethers like birthday parties and other family get-togethers. September 2024, you unfortunately died. Very sad, very disappointing. Still love you, still miss you, still wish you were here. And you're a big hockey guy, and I love talking hockey with you. You're a big Blackhawks guy, but the Blue Jackets became your second favorite team because of me. And you had a Blue Jackets camo hat, a Blue Jackets camo hat that you liked wearing. I got you at a Blue Jackets game when I went to one in January 2020. Blue Jackets beat the Carolina Hurricanes that day. It was military night. Great time. And you loved wearing that hat, especially at your cooking job. And you often tell me the story about how your coworkers love that hat. They'd be like, oh, what's that hat? Oh, it's a Blue Jackets hat. Hockey. My nephew got it for me. And it's like, oh, that's a cool hat. So you love that hat. You love telling me that story. You always wore it. This is great. Wish you're still here so I could talk some hockey with you. You could share your thoughts on how you think the Blackhawks are doing this season, and I could share my thoughts on how I think the Blue Jackets are doing this season. So shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc. I wish you're still here so I could talk to you and hang out with you and talk hockey with you and so much more. So I could still see you at birthday parties and family get-togethers and holidays and Thanksgiving and Christmas and Easter and so much more. And wish you were still here so I could talk hockey with you. I wish you were still here so I could talk hockey with you. So shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc. Thank you for everything.
Rest in peace, Uncle Doc.
And one last thing for me is check out Union Blue Soldiers. 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 Union Blue Soldiers is a fun Blue Jackets themed fan group that I run. We do a lot of fun stuff like marches. You know, they've been on TV for like 10 TV, Adam King. NBC4, Whitney Harding, Clay Hall from ABC6 News. It's been talked about in the Columbus Dispatch. It's been talked about on 97.1 The Fan. If you've been to a Blue Jackets game within the last 6-7 years, you've seen the march that Union Blue Soldiers does on the scoreboard at a Blue Jackets game. You've seen the march that Union Blue Soldiers does at a ticket commercial during a Blue Jackets game. So we do it every home opener before the Blue Jackets home opener. And if the Blue Jackets make the playoffs, Union Blue Soldiers does another march. They're a lot of fun. They are a lot of fun. It's a great time to bring your fellow Blue Jackets fans together to cheer on the Blue Jackets. Stinger's been there. Other people from the Blue Jackets organization have been there, like the people who throw the t-shirt into the crowd during the game. It's been on TV and so much more. You never know what's going to happen at a Union Blue Soldiers march. A lot of fun stuff and some fun surprises. So, join Union Blue Soldiers for our next march, which is probably the home opener next season, unless the Blue Jackets make the playoffs, which if they do, then we're doing one then. But you got to check out a march that Union Blue Soldiers does. It's a lot of fun to be with your fellow Blue Jackets fans, to cheer on the Blue Jackets. And follow Union Blue Soldiers on all social media platforms. Follow Union Blue Soldiers on all social media platforms. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. One last time, check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. That is it for me. For now, we'll get out of here, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.
See y'all. Have a good week. See you next week on Monday. All right, I'm going to hit the end stream button and not the leave stream button. We good? All right, say bye.